Hello, welcome to a book haul. This is I read this book with Chris, and I am Chris. Today, I will be showing you the haul that I got. This is a bunch of different books I've gotten over the past month. The issue is I keep putting out one of these because I keep getting books, and I do not record a video for every book I've read, but I have not read anywhere near this amount of books, so I probably am collecting way too many. You couldn't tell by all of our bookshelves. I am going to be drinking a lemon creamsicle. So, got these from all sorts of different places. Some of them just sort of fell in my lap. Some of them I've got at bookstores and all sorts of stuff. I will start off with Get Smart. So this is not one that I just picked up. This is a book that me and my wife are in the middle of. Get Smart is hilarious, a hilarious TV show. And I don't know if you know this, but they did novelizations. I don't know if these are based off of. It's been a while since I've seen the TV show. These are Get Smart. I bought these off of eBay. So it is actually the entire series. There are 9 books in total. Get Smart, Sorry Chief, all the way up through Max Smart and the Ghastly Ghost Affair. So, me and my wife have been working our way through it, and I was looking for them to pick them up, and I didn't know that it was the entire series on eBay, and I made an offer, and the person accepted it, so it was $24 shipped for all of those, which is pretty good for 9 books. If you don't know the quality of Get Smart, this is something I might review, but it is definitely not going to be like my regular fare. Alrighty. So these is a collection of books that I picked up. We ordered them from Powell's Bookstore. So this are 2 books by John Wyndham. This one's just a book. This one is 3 tales. I don't know if they're novellas or short stories. I'm guessing they have to be novellas. It's about 180 pages for 3 stories. But this one's has 1 story by John Wyndham, and then this one is by him. Actually, our local bookstore, the owner there, I was talking to her, and we're talking about our favorite authors. And she recommended John Wyndham being one of hers. Never heard of him. She did not have any. So I bought a couple to get into. Apparently, he was early sci-fi after Jules Verne and H.G. Wells, before it became a big thing in the 40s and 50s. I think 20s and 30s, generally. But we shall see. I got this one from Powell's as well. Darwin's Radio by Greg Bear. I have a couple Greg Bear. I don't think I've read any of him yet. But it looked interesting. It was pretty cheap, and when you're online book shopping, it's pretty easy to accidentally add a few books more than you should to your cart. A little bit off the back. Ancient diseases encoded in the DNA of humans wait like sleeping dragons to awake and affect again, or so molecular biologist Kay Lang believes. And now it looks as if her controversial theory is in fact chilling reality. For Christopher Dicken, a virus hunter at the Epidemic Intelligence Service, has pursued an elusive flu-like disease that strikes down expectant mothers and their offspring. That's something. Generally more modern than what I normally read, which is one of the reasons I would like to read him, but I have yet to get to any of his other books. We'll see if this just sits on the shelf. This is Changing Planes by Ursula K. Le Guin. I've read a little bit of her. I'm currently listening to her Wizard of Earthsea trilogy. I'm in the middle of the last one. Very interested in actually physically reading some of her. So I just picked it up. This is, says it's stories, so a short story collection, which I think is a great way to get into sci-fi authors, because you can get more, you can get a better insight into them than you can just reading a novel. But there you go. And then Just Enough Jeeves by P.G. Wodehouse. So this is a collection of Joy in the Morning, Very Good Jeeves, and Right Ho Jeeves. Actually read all of these. These are just Jeeves. It's in a nice, clean book. Yeah, not really much to say besides it's a good looking book. This may be one that I'm willing to give up if I find someone in my life who's read some Wodehouse and is interested in more, because I know all of these are bangers. But it'll also look good on my shelf if I never find someone who is worthy. These are 2 Time Warp Trio books. I remember when I was a kid, Time Warp Trio was one of my favorite TV shows. Time Warp Trio, and then at some point there's then the girls' version of the Time Warp Trio, and then they'd get in, accidentally come to the same thing, and sometimes there'd be 2 girls and 1 boy, or 2 boys and 1 girl, and they'd just go back in time, and very short stories, you know, because they are meant for little kids, where they just go back. One of the episodes I remember is they went to a diner where all of the prices for things was time, and so it's a time travel, you know, Time Warp Trio. They go back in time, which, you know, pretty simple timeline story, but then on top of that, they go somewhere where you can pay in time, and this whole big fiasco happens, and then the guy sitting there realizes he has to sell some of his life in order to get the food that he ordered. So he decided that the one thing that he did that created this whole fiasco, this whole mess, he then sold that hour of his time to the diner, which then solved the whole thing. That may be not a great synopsis because I haven't seen it for probably 18 years, maybe longer. But 2 short little books, Time Warp Trio, good for my time travel collection. I have no idea how many books there are for that. I really don't want to look it up because I know if I do, I will probably buy them all, whether or not I actually end up reading them. This is just a nice copy of Measure for Measure. I don't read Shakespeare nearly as often as I should, but it's a beautiful copy. And as you know, I have a problem with books. That's why I have so many books. Alrighty. So these are 2 books I have picked up from our local bookstore. This one is Nerves by Lester Del Rey. A very interesting character. You can look up his Wikipedia page if that's something that interests you. He has some very wacky premises that have some good writing in them and some bad writing in them. Every book I've read of his, I have enjoyed, but not every book I've read of his has been a good book. But this one is a masterpiece by the New York Times. At least, that's what they want you to believe, because that's what it says right at the top there. I seriously doubt it is a masterpiece, but it may still be good. And then there is The Air Affair by Jasper Fjord. I've actually listened to this on audiobook, and I'm thinking I might want to discuss it, and if so, I'll probably read through it first. This is a strange world. He writes, I've read, what is it? I've read Shades of Grey, which has nothing at all to do with 50 Shades of Grey. Shades of Grey is a story where everyone has different colors that they can see. Some people are yellow. They can see mostly yellow. Some people can see mostly red. If you can see some yellow and some red, then you are orange. And it's all tested out. It's really strange social commentary. In this, The Air Affair, where books are, it's what's it called? It's an alternate history where books are very important and literary things are very important, and people debate in newspapers and on TV all sorts of stuff. It's stuff everyone pays attention to, like people would pay attention to sports or politics now. And technology has arrived that allows you to, if you get the original manuscript of a book, you can then go, and if you destroy it or do other things to it, it can change the story and the novel, and so then all the future versions and future copies of it get interesting. That sounds interesting, pick it up. I may or may not read that. And then, down to my last few books. Waystation by Clifford D. Simak. I have no recollection of where I got this, which may be an issue. Enoch Wallace is not like other humans. Living a secluded life in the backwoods of Wisconsin, he carries a 19th century rifle and never seems to age, a fact that has recently caught the attention of prying government eyes. The truth is, Enoch is the last surviving veteran of the American Civil War, and for close to a century he has operated a secret way station for aliens passing through on journeys to other stars. But the gift of knowledge and immortality that his intergalactic guests have bestowed upon him are proving to be a nightmarish burden, for they have opened Enoch's eyes to humanity's impending destruction. Still, one final hope remains for the human race, though the cure could ultimately prove more terrible than the disease. Clifford D. Simak is one of the masters of sci-fi, definitely not one of the more well-known ones. Yeah, all I gotta say about that. William James, Pragmatism and Other Essays, modern philosopher, some say one of the greatest. I have no idea, but it's a nice copy. I want to get into philosophy, and, there you go. Is 3 prophetic sci-fi novels by H.G. Wells, The Time Machine, The Story of Days to Come, and When the Sleeper Wakes. I have obviously read The Time Machine. The other 2, I don't think I have copies of, so just some old classic sci-fi. And then this is Science Fiction, a collection of critical essays. This may be good, this may be awful, but literary criticism of science fiction. Who knows? Most of the time it's crap. Maybe I'll read a little bit and get rid of it. Maybe not. Who knows? So, in that giant collection of books that keep adding to my impending to-be-read collection, are there any of these that you think, maybe I should read? Any of these that you have read that you liked? Any of these where you're just like, hey, don't even... Let me know. I got comments there, or there, or there. I seriously doubt they are there, but who knows? Maybe you have a weird thing added to your Chrome. I'll see you next time. No, you won't. This is a podcast.